And welcome back for episode 8 of NYR After Dark, late night Rangers talk to the fans who never log off. Today we've got a bunch of different cool segments. We're going to react to a video by The Athletic titled How to Fix the Rangers, which is really cool. I thought it was a good video. What did you think? It was a good one?
Yeah, no, I liked it.
Yeah, I mean, we agree with a lot of it, but we'll dive into it. We're going to predict the leaders for some of the stat lines on the team this season. We'll talk about how we think some of the special teams units kind of shake up when we get into the season. And then we've got some open A's. So we'll talk about who deserves those A's getting in there. So, Ivan, I'll let you take lead on this this Athletic video thing.
Yeah, so the Athletic video was pretty cool. I watched it on YouTube. It was called How to Fix the New York Rangers. I think they made 10 separate videos. I didn't see the other ones, but they were talking about like 10 teams that underperformed or whatever last year and like kind of how to fix it. It was Mark Lazarus, Vince Macagliano, and Peter Bow. Correct? Yes. Cool. Boss. but yeah, so the first thing they talked about was like, what's the goal for the Rangers this year? And I mean, me and you obviously have personally talked about this. The Rangers are kind of in a weird spot. Like, they're not Stanley Cup contenders, but they're also, I mean, I doubt they're going to be a bottom 5 team in the league this year. To be honest, I would love if they were, because if we got another top 5 pick, I'd be perfectly fine with that, because I think the Rangers' biggest, need right now is down the middle age-wise. Like, Mika, JT, I've talked about it before, kind of old now, and that's kind of where you're worried about everything, because they pointed it out in the video. They were like, Rangers are in a spot where they're trying to thread the needle, where they're trying to be competitive, but at the same time, they don't want to like put all their eggs in one basket, go for like older players and stuff to like kind of like ruin the future,
Right.
downfall in the future, or whatever. And they talked about like getting younger and stuff like that. And I mean, me and you both agree, like they made some great moves this offseason
Absolutely.
in the aspect of like, getting younger with Doro, drafting Smiths. I think they had like 9 draft picks this year or whatever. And
Yeah.
obviously we're high on them, the trades and stuff like that. But
They
they're
did a great job. They filled the prospect
yeah,
pool, which is great.
yeah.
I mean, I get it. Like, everyone's like, well, pick a direction. You can't really go both ways. But I think if you were going to try to go both ways, this is a great way to do it, right? You're pulling in a guy who maybe isn't a superstar in Doro, but is a guy that fills what you're missing, which was scoring from last season. And he's 25. That's phenomenal. You get a top 5 draft pick in Smiths. Also great in the Trocheck trade, which we'll talk about a little bit later, because they talked about that in the video. But you get Cole Bodwin, right, with Artemi Panarin. That trade that really didn't work out too great. Obviously, depending on how Greentree fills out. So we have Greentree. Like, I think if you're going to try to go both ways, this is probably the best way to do it.
Yeah, and I think also like I feel like Ranger fans also like tend to jump the gun. Maybe all fans do this or whatever, but like there's nothing really Drury could do to like take us from where we were to make us Stanley Cup contenders next year.
No.
But he did the next best thing where he put us in that right direction, getting younger, getting Dorofeev, a pure goal scorer and stuff like that. He's 25. We signed him for 7 years. We have they mentioned this in the video actually. We have him for his entire prime, 25 to 32. That, and like you want a player like that. And I think Ranger fans have to like just look at it in the moment and be like, hey, like they made like great moves and like put us in that right direction. We might not be cup contenders yet, but like, with a few moves, like you never know how it goes. The next thing they talked about was obviously Doro and like how he like wasn't the guy in Vegas and stuff like that. Like they have Eichel, they have Marner, they have Stone. And like, yes, I agree with that. He was not the guy, but like you're bringing in a 25-year-old pure goal scorer who's not going to be the Panarin of what we had in the past, but he's bringing a crucial aspect of what we need in youth and goal scoring. And I love that move. I know the Rangers still need a star or whatever, but still great move there. What's your thoughts on Doro?
I don't think we're trying to get him to be a superstar or a Panarin type player. I think we know exactly what we're getting out of him, right?
Mhm.
I think people get drawn to that idea just because of how much he's making, but the cap's going up. I mean, think about what some of the other guys are getting, and I really think we're putting him in a spot to just be the best version of him, which is a scorer, right? We're putting
Yeah.
him on power play one opposite Mika. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But like no one's asking to be a play driver. We're
Yeah.
hoping Lafreniere takes that step, right? We're hoping Gabe takes that step. We have Fox, who again we'll talk about later. Like we have play drivers. We're not asking him to do that. Even
Yeah.
JT's a solid playmaker. Like we are asking him to be exactly who he is. No one is. No one should be expecting him to be a Panarin and come out and skate across the blue line and make all these crazy. No one's asking that of him. We're asking
Yeah.
for him to put the puck in the net, which is what he's best
That's
at.
yeah, I mean, you explained it perfectly. I think the expectation for Doro can't be we like our next Panarin. Like, do I want Doro to be our best player like a Panarin? Yes, I would love that, but that's not he's not Panarin. He's not that
No,
playmaker, driver kind of thing. He's a pure goal scorer. What I want Doro to be, I want him to be our best goal scorer. Right now, that title's probably for Mika, because obviously, like we've seen how Mika is the last few years. But like Mika's 34, turning 35, and you're gonna need someone to kind of like take that step. And Doro is literally like probably the best trade option on
next
the
best.
market that
Yeah.
yeah that we could have literally gotten. And I remember when the Doro rumors were still like first happening or whatever. Like me and you, we were like, oh, like how sick would that be if we traded for Doro? Like with zero expectations that it was actually going to
Uh,
happen because we were
uh,
like, how are we going to get
I'll
anything?
be honest with you. I thought Vegas was going to. I was like, he's an RFA. Like
Yeah,
they're not
yeah.
letting go of him. Why would you?
Yeah, that was yeah, exactly, and we were
It's
watching the
crazy.
draft together, and then that Doro thing, my brother's sitting next to me, I'm in shock, 'cause to be honest, I thought there was a better chance of him somehow getting to New Jersey, 'cause my brother's a Devils fan, than there was him coming to New York, so, like, that move, was incredible, and I give Drury all the props for that. One question I do have for you, because obviously, they were talking about, like, the direction of the team and stuff like that. If you look how our current roster is constructed, doesn't it kind of feel like, in a sense, if we were to bring in a major star, let's just say it was a Robo, wouldn't that kind of, in the present, make us cup contenders? Because like we lost Panarin, you would fill that role with Panarin, move Bjorkstrand down, our top six, with obviously the hope of Gabe and Laugh taking that next step or whatever. Like we'd have a really solid team, you know?
I agree. I agree. I think the problem is what are you giving up to get that person?
Yeah,
Right? If you're getting them for nothing or a Schneider's, some ridiculously low price, sure. But the problem is you're giving up to get like a Robo, to get a guy like
mm,
that, to get a superstar that fits in there. You're giving up a Laugh. You're giving up a Cooley. You're giving up
yeah,
like again, like I mean, Cooley wouldn't be the biggest detriment, but even still, like you're giving up another guy that we kind of need, and he's gonna be a staple on our third line. He's gonna be sick. So
yeah.
I
Well, when I
agree
said,
with you.
yeah,
If we could literally just mix and match and throw a top six winger in there, how are we not? Right?
yeah,
Everybody
well,
healthy. How are we not? You've got
yeah,
Igor. You've got
I should
a
have
phenomenal blue line.
Yeah, I should have rephrased that. I meant like Robo in that instance, like if he did go to free agency and wasn't signed
Right,
long
and just
term, and like,
signed.
and
Sure.
because like, I mean, like you're placing the pieces in the right spot. Obviously, that would be next season. So like, we only have Bjorkstrand for 1 year, so you would kind of have to figure that out. But like, I mean, everybody's saying it. Like the Rangers, that's kind of what they lack is that top six guy. But if we were to able to get a Robo, I feel like that would really put us in a different like spot than we are now. But talking because we brought up Laugh as well. Something they talked about during the pod was Mark Lazarus was saying like, he was looking at Laugh. He was actually shocked. He looked up Laugh's age and he was just like, wow, this kid's still only 24. Like we've had him for like 6 seasons now. Like it's kind of surprising because he's still young. I mean, he's
He's younger
still
than
hasn't his
Doro.
yeah, he still hasn't hit his prime yet. So like he was saying like have the Rangers kind of just settled on him being that like 55, 60 point guy or whatever? Is there like hope for more? And like we've talked about it, they said it on the pod. Like I can't emphasize it enough. Like when Laugh left or when Panarin left, Laugh like he showed so much potential. Like 28 points in 27 games to end the season. I get it. Not in the playoffs, meaningless games, quote
Yeah,
unquote.
they're not, but okay.
Yeah, but like, we've talked about it. Like, I just think it's so much about opportunity with Laugh. Just like if he's given the opportunity to top 6 minutes, power play time. Like I can't emphasize that one enough. It's like
Mhm.
power play time. Like we saw how good he was in front of the net. That's actually one of the things I'm most excited for this year
Me
is
too.
to see Laugh on the power play full time, being in front of the net because hey, I know he didn't show it prior, but he's got some like nice mitts in front of the net, hand-eye
He does.
coordination. Yeah, great deflections and stuff like that. But yeah, they talked about him, and obviously, like he showed that he can be a play driver and stuff like that. I'm really excited for Laugh personally. I know I'm a Laugh
Oh,
homer, but still.
absolutely no, but even still, absolutely. I mean, my bold prediction on one of our past episodes was that he's gonna get 75 plus points.
Mm,
I really like, and I feel that. Like, I
yeah,
think no matter what, they put him in a position to succeed like that. Either whether they keep that line together of Gabe Mika Laugh, or they drop someone and bring Doro up. Like you're giving Laugh that opportunity that you were talking about to not only get net front presence on PP1, which will be phenomenal for him, but also just like allowing him to be the playmaker. Like
yeah,
put him out there with some pure scorers, Mika and Doro. Like that, how does he not excel like that? You know
yeah,
what I mean? And again, him being 24 is like it's great because he think about it, he's got NHL experience, but also he's got a whole career ahead of him.
yeah,
You know, I don't see a world in which he takes a step back. You know,
yeah,
I think he can only go forward. That's just how I
yeah,
feel.
yeah. I completely agree. If Laugh doesn't have a great season this year, then I'll lean on the boat or get on the boat of people being like, okay, like Laugh is not, you know, as special as we might have thought or whatever. But like I said, just I think given the opportunity, the PP time, emphasizing that a lot, I think it's just going to make a total difference, and I'm really excited to watch him play this year.
For
And
sure.
the next thing they talked about was the Trocheck trade, and obviously, I mean we've definitely talked about Trocheck trade
I
on
mean,
the
we've covered
pod.
all of this before,
Yeah, but they were basically talking about like the Trocheck trade, and Mark Lazarus was saying like, how do you guys feel about it? Because it felt like an underwhelming return based off like what the asking price and stuff like that was during the trade deadline. Um, but like, what's
right?
your thoughts on that?
I think it was only underwhelming for the people who were sitting there hearing that Drury was like unwilling to budge from his high price because they thought that he was going to get that no matter what in the end. But that's absurd. If you hold a high price and to the point where like even Billy G was like, yeah, no, go fuck yourself. Like,
Yeah.
there's no way. You know what I mean? Like stuff like that. I think it was a great return, especially
Hmm.
because it was what you're looking for, right?
Yeah.
They're trying to shore up the blue line. They wanted puck moving defensemen. Him and Sully both said that at the end of the season. Who'd we end up with? Sean Dursey, another younger guy who can move the puck and can play on our second line. Phenomenal. You get Cole Bodwin in there, which again, like you were talking about, we're worried about up the middle. Is he a surefire top six center? No, but it's a guy who will absolutely get middle six center minutes. And on top of that, he's a physical freak. This is
Hmm.
like a well sought after guy. I mean, we talked about it when we kind of covered him. Like Utah went up to grab him in the draft. Like he's a good player. So I can't imagine a better return if I'm being honest with you. Like without us giving up extras. Like think about it. It was straight up. It was Trocheck for those two, and I think like a third or fourth round pick or something. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
how can you ask for a better return? So the people saying it was underwhelming are people who just had their hopes too high, I think.
Yeah. Like whatever the Trocheck deal was going to be, we weren't getting like a top six guy in return. Like
No.
that was never happening. And like I'll be real, like I'm happy that Drury stuck to his guns and was just like, I'm not just going to give him up for nothing because listen, yeah, he's 33. Yes, he's older. We still had him signed for 3 more seasons at a very good price compared to what the cap has gone to and what players are
And
getting.
he was still producing.
Exactly, and like, and in all aspects of the game, 5-on-5, power play, penalty kill, face offs. Like he was a huge part of our team. I love Trocheck, and I'm sad to see him go, but like I d- I like the package personally, and obviously like I'm a guy that I want prospects who are centers because the Rangers never focus on that, and I think that's a big part of this. And like we said before, like if he turns out to be like a second line center, like if he, because people have compared him, like he could technically be a Trocheck. And if he ends up being that second line center like a Trocheck, holy hell, is this a absolute home run of a trade?
Absolutely.
If he's a third line center, yeah, like I think it's an even trade there. They even pointed this out during the video, and they were saying if he's a fourth line center, yeah, then the return's not that great. But something Vince did point out, which I found interesting, was he was saying that a lot of the reports that he was hearing was a lot of the offers Drury was getting at the time of the deadline, they were more future based, being like, "Hey, I'll give you these picks and these prospects." But Drury, on the other hand, was just like, "No, I kind of need players that like will help me now." And I feel like he got a good combination of both. Like Sean Durzi's gonna be, like you said, gonna be our second pair D man. Like he's going to help our team now. And Cole Baldwin, he's knocking on the door. He's right there. Like he could technically make the team this year,
He's pro
or
this season. Yeah.
yeah. So like I feel like the package might have not a bit blown you away, but it's exactly what Drury really did need to get. Like we're not doing a rebuild. We didn't need a whole package of like prospects and picks and stuff like that. Like, yeah, would that have been cool? Yes. But would that have helped us right now? No. And
No.
like we said before, we're in this weird spot where we're kind of like threading it, trying to like
But they labeled it a retool. It's not a rebuild.
yeah.
As much
So
as Rangers fans want it to be a rebuild, I'm so sorry. But you, me, Ivan, everybody else who loves the Rangers, we don't control the team. You know, it's I I agree. I'm a big fan of like a full blown rebuild, but it's just not what was in the cards for the team. The GM decided we're going to retool, so everyone kind of needs to get over it and accept where we're at and start looking at it from that perspective.
yeah. And one last point to that is like when Drury, sent out that letter basically saying that this is a retool, the idea of it, like, I'm not gonna lie, it annoyed me to begin with
Of
because
course.
I'm like, retools are so hard to do. They're actually probably harder than a rebuild at times because, like, you kind of have to hit perfect on every move you make at that point. Like, we saw Colorado, like, obviously they did their moves for their retool, and like they were like projected to win the cup last year and ended up getting knocked out of the first round or whatever. Like retools are very difficult. The but the thing that like makes me feel better about the retool is everything that we just saw this offseason. Like
Right.
getting younger, getting all these players that we're talking about and stuff like that. That makes me more comfortable with retool because it's like, okay, like this can work. We just there's still moves we have to make. Retool's not over, guys. Sorry about that. It's just not over yet. It's going to take another whatever year or two, but we're on the right track, going in the right direction right now, and I think that's like very important for Ranger fans to like really remember and like look at. Um, but then the next topic and the last topic that we're going to discuss, I feel like this is a real hot topic on Twitter right now. It's Mr. Adam Fox and where uh, where people see him at ranked number one D man log. I'm gonna let you take this one because I know you're passionate about this one.
Yeah, I mean, I appreciate it. Let's start off with
Mm,
that. Like, I appreciate that it is a hot topic in such a time where, there's not a lot really going on news wise for the NHL in general, but especially the Rangers. But I don't understand where this, like, sure, not the best couple seasons lately, right? Not, not playing full seasons kind of hurts you too, right? You get
mhm,
injuries here and there. And then you talk about like the Four Nations, and okay, I think people blew that up a little bit and were like, he was horrendous, and he really wasn't. He was he his best version of himself? No, it was not the best Adam Fox we've seen, but it was not the worst.
mhm,
And then he gets snubbed from the Olympics. I'm going to tell you something. Just because he got snubbed, Jason Robertson got snubbed from the Olympics. Okay, he just got offered $15 million. Okay, go ahead and tell me Jason Robertson sucks just because he didn't
mhm,
make the Olympic team. Come on,
mm,
that's
yeah,
ridiculous. The Adam Fox slander when he's playing with Urho Vakanainen and Braden Schneider, and they're like, "Oh, Braden Schneider can play left side. Let's just put him with Fox. He is another guy." You know what I mean? Like these are the people that Fox is having to play with, and then you look at even just like the bottom two D pairs that he's had to like kind of cover for essentially, where it's like, shit, we need Fox back out there because they're letting up goals left and right. Like he's gonna finally have a competent blue line behind him. On top of that, now you're adding Doro to power play, right? So PP1's gonna have another scorer. I just in what world is Adam Fox? I forget what the actual ranking was, but like I saw him at like 18. He is not the 18th best D man in the league. He is top 10. And if you think that he's not, you might not be watching hockey, and that's okay. Like if
Yeah.
you don't know what you're talking about, I got nothing against you. That's totally fine. But maybe do your research or watch a little bit before you start saying stupid shit. You know?
Yeah, I agree with everything you just said. Like, it was. I'll be honest. Four Nations was not a good look for Fox. He
No.
did. There was
Yeah.
times where he looked like he wasn't like fit to be there at times. Olympic snub. Listen, I like would I have taken Adam Fox over Jackson McComb? Yeah. Like there's like I feel like if you look at it now, like yeah, like there's you would put Fox over some other players. There's just like Jason Robertson. Like I would have put Jason Robertson over Kyle Connor. Like that, that's looking at it after, and then obviously the Rangers being crap for the last two seasons. Like he hasn't had a lot of help, and like you said, the D has been really bad. Like we had to bring Gavrikov in last year because Lindgren could no longer play with him, and then we had no one else. Like we needed a defensive anchor kind of next to him, and he kind of showed last year. I know he was hurt, but like he was almost a point per game last year. Like, and I the thing about Fox is like I think he's a top 10 as well. I think he's like back end of the top 10, but I think he's a top 10. He's just not a flashy D man. He's not like
No.
he's not a Quinn Hughes, Kale McCarr, or Werenski, but and I think they actually said this in the video. He's not any of them, but like he's that next notch down. Like he's not flashy, but he is a playmaking D man. Like his hesitations and stuff like that. Like it, he is elite at what he does. He's just not flashy about it. He's not a Lane Hudson. He's not doing 360s around people and stuff like that. And I feel like and also like you have all these younger D men coming in, Matthew Schaefer, like I said, Lane Hudson. Like it makes like the middle age, later age D men not look as great anymore. But please name me whatever 20 other D men, 21 number one D men that you're going to take over Fox because I think there's a strong debate of like him being at that number 10, maybe 12, top 12 number one D men. So I think this year I'm not going to say he has a chip on his shoulder, but maybe he does because of the whole Olympic snub and
Come
stuff
on.
like that. But I think with how the team is structured this year, I think you're going to see a very strong bounce back season from Adam Fox. And he's also another player that I'm very excited for. Like you pointed out, power play, better decor, everything like that. I think a cultivation of everything is going to like really show how good Adam Fox is. And I'm very much excited for it, to be honest.
But Ivan, you're missing the one big point. He's a milk drinker. How is he gonna be good and top 10 in the league if he drinks milk and not whiskey? Dude, by the way, whiskey sucks. I'm sorry for all our fans that love whiskey. Whiskey is terrible. I would take like a good glass of like milk or chocolate milk over whiskey any day. So
Yeah, but the
Adam
thing
Fox, I'm
is,
right
like,
there with you.
yeah, I feel but I mean, like, your number 1 D-man, do you want him to be a whiskey drinker? Like, Quinn Hughes ain't a whiskey drinker, like, Cale Makar,
That
not a whiskey
that
drinker, like
motherfucker drinks Capri Suns. You're telling me Quinn Hughes is out here drinking whiskey? Get the fuck out of here. Although he was pretty messed up at the Olympics. I'll give him that. He's drinking something
no, I mean,
alcoholic,
yeah,
Dirty
he's
Shirley's or something like that.
it's a perfect drink choice for Quinn Hughes. He's
Dirty
definitely
Shirley's
drinking
for
yeah,
Quinn
he's
Hughes.
def love him, he's elite, definitely drinking Dirty Shirley's. But yeah, I recommend checking out the video. They talked about
Yeah, it was a
Igor
great
after
video.
that. Yeah, it was a great video. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, great video. The Athletics always got great stuff coming out, and again, like that's one of those things that's like during this point of the season, like seeing a video like that that's an hour long, right, and has all this stuff, like it's like refreshing because you're like sitting there like fiending for some sort of Rangers news, and you're getting nothing, you know.
Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
it was nice to listen to for a little bit. They said they recorded it in July, but it also just felt nice because it was like we talk obviously all the time about the Rangers and stuff, and it's just so reassuring. When I watched it, and we texted each other, and we're like, "Damn, like this is like everything that we've been saying."
yeah,
Like
literally.
it just felt good together, like reassuring
It feels
everyone.
like the Rangers community is kind of on the same page right now, which is nice, like for the most
Yeah,
part. Obviously, there's little discrepancies here and there, but overall.
yeah,
So next, we're going to kind of get into who we think is going to lead certain stat lines for the team. There was a slight miscommunication, which is totally fine. Ivan ends up having the top three. I just kind of picked one for each one. Um, but we'll get into certain ones, and let's lead it off with goals. I mean, right, we're adding a goal scorer. We're hoping for some bounce back from guys like JT and some steps up from Laugh and Gabe. And who do you have leading the team in goals? And if you're for your top three, or how many do we think?
Yeah. So I also want to emphasize this is just assuming everybody's having a healthy season. They're playing all
Yeah, of course.
84
Yeah.
games or whatever. Um, and when looking over my stats, I actually said to myself, I was just like, some stats I feel like I'm very hopeful, and then some I hold back on. But this one, I feel like it's a little bit of a hopeful one. I got Doro as our leading goal scorer, but the
Ooh,
hopeful part is 41. That's what
I
I
like
I
that.
got it. I got him breaking 40 for the first time in his career.
I mean,
Um,
I love that. Come on.
yeah.
41, that's my
Um,
number.
yeah, yeah. Oh, actually, I didn't even think about that when I did that.
Yeah.
But and then second one I have ranked is Laugh. I think he has a 32 goal season. Again, breaking his previous high. And then my third ranked, I had Mika, but I actually have Mika scoring less goals than he did last year. I have him at 28. I think with Doro being on the power play, I think he'll score like a little less, and I think he'll have like a bump in assists. But I could see him scoring 28 to 30. I just had him, down a little bit.
Okay, cool. So we disagree there, which is interesting.
Um,
I have Mika leading the team in goals, and I have
yeah.
him getting 37. And I'll tell you
Okay.
why.
Okay.
Because when you look at the power play, which again, we'll talk about it in a minute, but right, we're assuming you're going to have Doro on one side, Mika on the other. You got the shiny brand new toy on the other side, right? This guy who just got paid all this money. You're like, ooh, I gotta watch out for that guy. He's gonna. Oh shit, I forgot about Mika. And whack, one
Yeah.
timer. You completely forgot that was coming on the other side. I mean, we were top five power play in the league last year on a terrible
Mhm.
year. I
Yeah.
don't see a world in which and I think again like for 5-on-5 time, I think they set Mika up with a great line. It's either going to be Doro Mika Laugh or it's going to be Gabe Mika Laugh. And again,
Mhm.
either way, Mika, I think, is in a phenomenal position to score goals. I'm predicting 37 out of him.
Yeah, I know. I to be honest, I don't hate 37. When I originally did this list, I actually had him at 32. But just when I was like going through like
Hmm.
the numbers and stuff like that, I think we're gonna see a bump in a lot of players, and I just that's why I bumped him down a little bit, just because it's like you're gonna see more goals from
No,
Gabe,
there's a
you're gonna see
balance.
more,
Yeah,
yeah, you're gonna see more goals from Laugh, obviously Doro, JT having a healthy season. I think that's gonna make a difference. So like I said originally when I had a like 32, but like I said, 37. I think that's his career high is 37 or
it is.
39 or something
Yeah,
like that. Yeah, so
it's
I can see
close
him. Yeah, I can see him hitting that again. I don't have a problem with that one.
for sure. So, moving on to assists. Okay, I'm gonna start this one because I'm gonna make you real happy. Okay, I got Mr. Alexi Lafreniere leading the assists with 45. I think again him being on power play, even though we have him in net front, him having an opportunity on power play, I think is going to help. But again, I think whatever line they put him on for 5v5, he is going to be in a position to be the playmaker on that
Mhm.
line. So he's going to be setting people up left and right. And I can't see a world in where he doesn't at least lead the team in assists. Maybe not 45 because 45 is a lot. But if I'm predicting, like I said, a 75 plus point season, 45 assists seems pretty doable.
Yeah. So I love that. I have no problem with that.
I bet you.
I actually think I think Laugh's gonna have like a 30-40 season. That's kind of my prediction for him. I also made a mistake when I was doing this. I also involved D-men because I put Fox in here. I have
You can
Fox
involve
leading our
D-men.
Okay, I have Fox leading our team with 60 assists. I think he's like I said, we talked about him before. I think he's going to have a bounce back season with how elite. I mean, you pointed out just before, like our power play unit was top five last year. Our power play got a ton
Better.
better. Yeah, like not even just a little bit, like a lot better. And I think that's Fox is going to have an elite year. I think 59 was his career. I don't remember what his career high was, like 59 or something like that. I actually have him going past that. I think like Fox realistically, I would put like 8 9 goals and then like 60 assists. Next person I have, I don't even have Laugh on this list, but I love that still. I have JT at 54. I think
I like that.
I think JT, healthy JT, he, I mean, we saw like he's put up 100 point season in Vancouver. He's not that young anymore and stuff like that. But like he had, I forgot what the number was. He had like a 58 games or something like that, and 30 something assists, whatever the number was. I just see a full healthy season from him. Like we'll see a bounce back season, 54 assists, and my ideal would be like 20-ish goals, something like that. And then Mika, I have third, 52 assists. Like I said, I think he'll have a bump in assists, and a
Mhm.
little dip in goal. But listen, I'm hopeful. I love all these
Yeah, no, I'm a fan of all of them as well.
yeah.
All right, so leading into total points for the team.
Hmm.
Here's where kind of that balancing that you were talking about, I think, kind of levels out. Where like, even though I think, because I chose Mika,
Hmm.
even though I think Mika is gonna have a like bump in production, I don't think it's gonna be anything ridiculous.
Hmm.
I don't think we get any 100-point
Hmm.
players because we have so many people that I think are gonna produce pretty well. So I have Mika at 82. What do you have?
Okay. We were pretty close on that. I had Mika leading the team at 80.
Mhm.
So we're actually pretty. I don't think we're gonna have any point per game players. But
No.
I don't see like a major dip in Mika's play. He's not like we talked about this a lot last podcast. Like he's not this like physical player that's putting his body on the line. Like he knows how to use his size and stuff like that. He's Swedish. He's very good defensively. So it's like he's not putting himself through like rigorous, hockey and stuff
So
like that.
So sorry to cut you off. I actually was listening to Locked on New York Rangers,
Mm.
great podcast by John Chick. Actually, if you haven't listened to it, please check it out. But he ended up talking about Mika and just kind of his durability, and was like, he's only missed 3 games in the past, like I think it's like 4 seasons, and one of them was like last season where he missed because he got caught in traffic during that snowstorm.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
he was a healthy scratch. So
yeah,
you're 100% right about Mika
yeah.
being durable.
Yeah, and I think prior to that, the only other injury I remember Mika having was when he like slid into the boards and he broke
Oh,
his femur and he was out for a while. But that's like when we first got him, so it's been a while.
yeah.
Um, and then for the rest of the points wise, I have JT with 74, and then I have
Hmm.
Laugh with 70. Like I said, I think JT has a bounce back season. I had him for 54 assists and 20 goals, and then Laugh, like I said, have him for 32 goals, but realistically, I see him being like a 30-40 guy. If he's going to be playing top six with either Gabe Mika or on a line with Doro, I don't see a world where he doesn't become a 70-point player and stuff like that. Like I think that's like the perfect spot for him. Um, but yeah, so that's my top three.
No, I agree with you. All right, moving on, power play points. So this is total points on the power play, goals and assists kind of combined. Who do you
Mhm.
have leading the charge here?
So this one I have Mika again. I have I know we weren't gonna do like total points, but I just for power play, but I just rough prediction. I put Mika for 36. I think he had 16 goals and 19 assists last year on the power play. I mean, that's where he does his work, is on that power play, you know?
You know it.
So, yeah, feel like he leads the team. Uh, I'm going to assume you have Mika, but I'm not going to assume that at the same time. Yeah,
I
didn't
do
think
not
so.
have Mika. I have
Mm.
Adam Fox. I
Okay,
have
I
Adam
like
Fox.
that. He's,
I think
he's on my list.
he's the distributor of that whole
Mhm.
power play unit, right? Everything runs through him. So I can't see a world if it's Doro taking the shot, Fox is probably getting into him. If it's Mika taking the shot, Fox is probably getting into him. If Last getting a deflection in the front of the net, it's probably coming from the blue line for Fox. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
I
like
don't.
I mean, he's the quarterback of the power play. So like,
That's what I
I
mean.
yeah,
This is a guy who it runs through him completely. So I don't see a world where he doesn't lead in power play points.
yeah. Like I said, I have him on my list. I have Doro actually second with 34. I think he has like 21 goals, 13 assists on the
Mhm.
power play kind of thing. Because that's obviously like his bread and butter too. And then Fox, I have at 31. Like I mean, I'm not gonna repeat myself, but I think Fox is gonna have a great year. So
Yeah, for sure.
uh, yeah.
Next one. This was a fun one. I was excited to do this one. We have block shots.
Hmm.
So last year, I believe it was Schneider.
Hmm.
I don't remember the actual number. It was like 110, somewhere around there.
No, I think it was more. I think it was like 140.
140. Okay, there you go.
Yeah,
Even better.
something like that. Yeah.
Um, which is funny because I think he also leads the team in shots blocked, just directly into the guy in front of him
Shin
on the
pad,
blue
like
line. So,
shooting into
mm,
someone's shin pads. Yeah.
yeah, he probably leads in that too. But we're not going to talk about that stat line. So
Yeah.
I actually have I couldn't decide. I'm gonna be honest with you. I split between two guys, and I think they're gonna fall around the 107, 110 range. And I have Gavrikov and Pedersen.
Hmm.
I think two decently big dudes who just, with Gavrikov, like his positioning is always phenomenal. He's just always right where he needs to be. I can see that being the case. And then Pedersen, I think, with having Dursey as his partner, I think they're going to gel really well, especially when it comes to like where they're supposed to be and stuff like that. So I think I can, and obviously he's a huge monster, so I can see him blocking quite a few shots. Who'd you
Yeah.
get?
This was my least favorite one, by the way. but
Fuck
um,
you.
but I like what you said about Gavrikov and Pedersen. Like I think you said like around 110. I actually have them both between 110 and 120. But I still have Schneider leading the way, and the reason for that, because I know what people will say or what you'll say is like he's on the third pair this year. I still think Schneider's going to be used on like PK, and well, obviously he's going to be used on PK, but he's still going to be used on like defensive situations. Like his bread and butter is putting his big butt down and blocking shots and stuff like that. So I think he'll still lead the team. I think the margins will be closer where like he's not. I think Schneider, like I
Far
said, I
and
think he had
away
like
the
one.
leader.
Yeah, I think he had 140, and then Gavrikov
Yeah,
had like
Gavrikov had
110.
104. He had
Yeah, so
104.
exactly. So I don't think the margins will be as high, but I still think he's going to be put in defensive situations. We no longer have to put Schneider in offensive situations because we don't have anybody else and stuff like that.
Yeah, he'll
So
get
that's why,
there,
yeah,
idiot.
I hope not. But I still think he'll lead the team in block shots.
Yeah,
Um,
it's fine. I can live
he
with
can
that
he
if
can
that's all he's doing anyway.
yeah, he can have the boring stat. I don't care about that.
Fine.
Yeah,
Now moving on to Ivan's favorite stat, I'm sure, which he hasn't said that and hasn't told me that behind the scenes, but I'm going to go ahead and guess it. We got face-off percentage.
yeah,
I have JT, and it was actually really funny because Ivan's reaction when we were looking up and doing research before this, he was like, JT had like a crazy percentage last year, and that's who I
yeah.
had. So I have JT dropping a percent. So he was 61.5% last year. I think he's going to be 60.5 this year just because Trocheck's not there. There's going to be a little less situational choosing. It's going to kind of just defer to JT, right, for the most
Mm.
part. Um, so I have JT leading the team at 60.5%.
Yeah.
What do you got?
So this, like you said, this number did shock me because when I saw it, I was like, because one, I, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, whoever's listening, like I thought last year it was like Nico Heischer and Trocheck were just swapping the 1 and 2 spots for face-off percentage like all year. Like all you heard about was like Trocheck being like elite in the face-off dot. No one mentioned JT's name. I don't remember throughout the season people being like, "Yo, JT's great." I know he's good in the dot, but not 61%, or would you say 61.5%?
Hmm.
Um, so I actually have his number dropping quite a bit, but I still have JT leading the team. I have him at 56%. And I agree with you. I think because Trocheck's going to be gone, like he's going to have more opportunities for faceoffs. But I also think that's going to slightly go against him because
Of course.
he's going to be going against harder competition when it comes to the faceoff dot. Because I feel like Trocheck was our bread and butter, where we're like
Yes.
we needed a faceoff when he was going out there to take that draw, and obviously depending on the hand and where the puck wanted to go, but I think it's going to hurt GT a little bit because he's going to be going against like the elite of the elite in faceoff dot. Still think he's elite in the faceoff dot. I just 61% to me was very high, so I have him dropping to like 55%. But we're on the same page with that one. So
Listen, if he raises every other stat other than face-off percentage, I can live with it. You know what I mean?
yeah, no,
Especially hustle.
yeah,
Hustle would be a good one.
yeah, I agree
So
with you.
moving on, we're going to talk about what we think the power play units and the PK unit is going to look like. I mean, a lot of you guys probably know where we're going with power play one. I think power play two is a little more interesting, especially with if we wanted to touch on like potentially adding a free agent here or there, something small like that. Um,
Yeah,
so for us, we kind of decided mutually, power play one was going to end up being most likely JT in the bumper, Fox back at the point, right? Meek on the left because he's right-handed shot, Doro on the right, left-handed shot, and then Laff at net front.
yeah,
Um, Talk me through why you think that is what it is, or you know,
yeah.
if you would
So
change anything.
I mean, if I was to change anything, I feel like everybody would give the same answer, and that's just swapping JT and Gabe, just because. Listen, JT had a bad year this last year. I don't want to hold that against him because I know he is still maybe not elite, but he's still a very very good hockey player. And when he's healthy, he can distribute the puck. Like he's good on the power play. When he had the 100 point season. Like he, I call him power play merchant, but like that's where he got all his production
Hmm.
from. So if I was to make a tweak, that's the only tweak I would make. But I also don't know if you can do that because like Sully loves having two centers out there. So like having JT and Mika out there to take draws and stuff like that. Um, Last we talked about it, like him being net front, he really impressed me with his hand-eye coordination and deflections. Actually came out during the season, like he would stay longer at
They were drilling him. They were
yeah,
drilling that
but
kid in
he
front of the net.
yeah, but he would like, actually stay out for practice to do like face offs and stuff like that. And it just remind I mean, I'm not comparing the two, but it just reminded me of like Joe Pavelski, probably one of the best at deflections. Just he that was a constant thing he practiced. I remember seeing like videos on Twitter of him just in front of the net just doing deflections and stuff like that. And then I mean we talked about it. Mika on the left, Doro on the right. I don't think you can get more elite than that, to be honest, for a 1 tier or
No,
whatever. And then you got a great QB on the back end right there with Fox who can distribute the puck. I feel like everybody would be in agreement with like the power play one. Like it's going to be top of the league. It's going to be elite, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun to watch this year. But I will say I'm also excited about power play two, even though we will not see them. It's my power play one.
no. I am too. I'm hoping it becomes less of a hey, you get the last 15 seconds. Good
Hmm.
luck. I'm really
Yeah,
hoping they make a point of it to kind of be like, hey, let's get PP2 out there for this one. Like,
yeah,
whether it's, maybe we're up by a little bit, or maybe we like to make up a little bit better of the unit, right, for that game, and they've got the hot hand. So you want to walk us through where you've got everyone positioned and who you've got on that unit?
yeah. So we got Dersey up top, and then we got a Gabe net front. I got Laba in the bumper, and then I got Bjorkstrand and Gabe on the half walls.
Yeah, we have
Um,
Cooley at the net front. Cooley at the
oh, what
net
did I
front. You
say?
said Gabe. You said Gabe.
Oh, my bad. I meant Cooley at the net front. Sorry. Um, that's just you got to put Cooley there. He's just big, and no one's pushing him out of the way. So
Yeah.
you got to put Cooley there. My bad. But I'm like I said, I'm very excited for this power play unit because like obviously we know what Cooley is. Laba, I thought had a great year last year. I would love to see him get some more power play time. I think the bumper spot's like a great spot for him. Bjorkstrand, I'm actually very excited to watch. Like I think
He's the shooter here.
yeah, I think he's going to impress people a lot, like a lot this year. Will he be on the team all year, or will we do him at the trade deadline? Who knows? But like 4.5 mil, I'm perfectly fine with that. And Dersey, I'm excited to see Dersey on. I'm very excited for Dersey in general this year. I
Hmm.
think he's going to become a quick fan favorite. And then obviously Gabe, like Gabe could play power play one, but I want to see him take charge of power play two. If he's not going to be on power play one.
Yeah, that's how it feels to me too. Where like this should be Gabe's unit, kind of.
Mhm.
He should
Yeah.
be kind of running through, not so much as the Fox role because I know Jersey is a pretty solid puck mover.
Mhm.
Um, but
But
I
you
would
want him
love to
running
see
through it, through him,
running through
basically.
Gabe. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I would say.
Yeah.
And then like I touched on very very briefly, like an article came out saying that we were, Patrick Laine was talking to maybe 5 different teams. The Rangers were kind of thrown into the mix, like, and I kind of spoke on this on socials, like, do I absolutely love it? No, but if he gets brought in, like, that's a power play merchant. You want to talk about power play merchant?
Yeah.
Laine
Yeah.
is the power play merchant. So having him on PP2, maybe for subbing out like a Laba and shifting it around a little bit, right? That would be my move. Um, but again, you're adding another shooter. Like I don't
Yeah. I mean, like, I understand why Ranger fans would find that attractive and stuff. I get it. It's Lane. I mean, he's been a 40 goal scorer in his career, and his bread and butter is on the power play. The only thing I disagree with is like you can't take Laba off because then we would have no center there. And then it's just like, would I take off Bjorkstrand? Like for Lane, I guess I probably would, but I also like Bjorkstrand at that spot, and I'm not taking Gabe off, but no shot.
no,
And
that's the last person that comes off.
yeah, and then Cooley,
I
you
didn't think
can't take.
about face offs. You're right. I
Yeah,
didn't
so
think about
like
face offs. You got to have
it.
Lob out there.
Yeah, so like your one choice would be Bjorkstrand, and it's just like I don't know. I don't. I mean, he's like you would also let's not forget like he was elite years ago. Like it's been a while since Lonnie's been a
For sure.
consistent scorer, and
For
you would
sure.
hope that he gets to that.
But I
um,
think, of any of his
attributes.
skills,
Yeah.
yeah, this is the one where it's like, listen, and honestly too, like Bjorkstrand's gonna play PK, which we'll talk about. Um, you're not putting line on PK,
No,
so
no,
you know
we
what I
would
mean. So
never see
that's what I
PK.
mean. So
Yeah,
if you're looking at it and you're like, if we're gonna give each one a special teams unit, that's what they're getting.
yeah.
So going into PK, um, we did this kind of like in forward pairs, kind
Mhm.
of. So we had JT with Cooley. Those were our guys last year. JT's a phenomenal penalty killer. That's why we brought him. That's why he made the Olympic team. If we're being honest, like that's
Yeah.
the kind of guy you want. And obviously Cooley, so solid, just kind of all around. Then we have Mika and Bjorkstrand. That actually kind of really interests me. I could see some
Yeah.
shorties coming out of that one.
I think that one. I think that's going to be like our number one pairing of Mika and Bjorkstrand, because Bjorkstrand is like
So
elite
solid.
defensive. Yeah, he's elite defensively, and I think that would be a great pairing. If you wanted to play with it, I could even see it being like you know a Mika Cooley, JT Bjorkstrand. Like they're
Right.
interchangeable, but like these are like what we would want to see and what we think would kind of like work best. And then the last one we just have on here is Lava and Cartier. Like last year, obviously, like our main penalty killers last year was JT Cooley, Mika, Trocheck, and then Mr. Connor Sheary. So obviously, you got to replace Trocheck and Sheary there. Cartier was more of like a main staple at the end of the season, obviously. But I mean, you bring in like it sucks to lose Trocheck on the penalty kill, but you bring in Bjorkstrand, like that is a good penalty killer, and
Yeah,
I'm excited for that. I think we have a pretty solid penalty kill for the forwards, honestly.
I agree with you. And I think honestly, if we had gone back to that stat line showdown and brought in the shorthanded goal stat line, I think Laba clears it. I'm gonna be
Hmm.
honest with you. I don't know why I got such a weird feeling because he's just. I feel like last season he was the only bright spot when it came to like breakaways. We didn't get a lot of breakouts and breakaways, but I could see Lava getting a couple just because of his speed.
Yeah.
And then we talked about D pairs. Obviously, Gavrikov, Fox being your main D pair, they're going to be out there. And then this was actually Ivan's doing. I don't know how I feel about it still, but Schneider and Pedersen.
Hmm.
Um, again, two guys that like I don't really have a reason to not think they'll succeed there, but I just hate
Hmm.
Braden Schneider, so I don't
Yeah.
want him there.
My
He's going to be
explanation.
there, but
Yeah, my explanation behind this one is like Schneider's on our team for one reason, honestly, and that's for the defensive purposes. He's not out there to play offense. He's out there to block shots, be a heavy body, and defend. And the reason why I have Pedersen and Schneider over Pedersen and Dersey is because like Dersey has had injury issues in the past, staying healthy and stuff like that. So it's just like we do have a good penalty killer there that can play over Dersey and like take away those minutes from him. Like if he wants to hop into the rotation, if they want to put him in there, like they probably will.
sure, yeah.
But it's just like I just said, he's had injury issues in the past, so just like maybe taking off that little bit of the workload there. He'll be running PP2, like that was my thought process behind that one. But if it was Dersey and Pedersen, I wouldn't mind that
Yeah, of
at
course.
all. Yeah.
So, final segment here. Um, n- no shock to anyone, right? We lost Panarin. That's an A gone. We lost Trocheck. Another A gone. Um, we still have JT captain. That's not going
Hmm.
to change, despite how many of you want that to change. It's not going to
Hmm.
change. We still have Fox and we still have Mika, both with A's. Who do you have getting the A's or A?
So this is not that it was a tough decision, but like when I was like looking at it, like I had two names came to my head immediately. But then I had a slight hesitation because neither of them are signed long term. But it's an A, so it's not like you're giving someone a captaincy or anything like that. It is an A. Like if they're not on the team next year, not it's not the end of the world to give someone else an A. But my first thought was like Gavrikov definitely probably deserves an A. But the two I chose were Dersey and Cooley. Um, I chose Dersey because, like I said, I feel like he's going to be a heavy fan favorite this year. He's like a heart and soul kind of guy. He's going to do anything he has to do to win. He plays with his heart on his on his sleeve. He's got like a fire in his pit going, you know. And then Cooley, I feel like Cooley, like he's been in the league for what 2 3 years now. He might not be very like vocal in a sense, but just
He's the
everything he
hardest worker.
yeah,
He's the
everything
hardest
he
worker on the
does
ice.
exactly, everything he does on the ice, it's just like, you want players to do what he does, and he's another player that, like, he'll do whatever you ask him to do. You want him to kill penalties, he's going out there. You want him to go lay out Alex Petrangelo and end his career, he'll do that for you too. He'll drop the gloves with anybody. He'll if you need him to play on the first line, second line, third, like, he'll do whatever you need him
Yes.
or whatever you ask him to do, and,
Swiss Army knife.
yeah, exactly, and I just love that about Cooley. And like I said, they're both technically only on 1-year contracts, so, you hope they sign long term, but either way, those are 2 people I would like to see where they I don't know if Jersey would necessarily get one his first year, but for the reasons I said, that's why.
That's fair. So I kind of have a hot take here. I
Mm.
don't think we give out another A, and I don't think we should. I
Oh, is that
think
oh, I didn't know that was
that's
an option.
that's my option. I I I won't lie to you. I, I don't.
That's funny.
I kind of like you. Like I don't. There was no one. Like you got guys on short term contracts. Like laugh. I really want to just focus on playing.
Mhm,
I why add? Let's
mhm,
and honestly, like even if it's like a push off, like hey, next season we'll talk about it, right? Because then you get like a maybe Cooley signs an extension, so we can look at him, or Jersey resigns, or Gavrikov's still here, right? Because there's that little speculation of like, oh, he's unhappy. Like
yeah,
those are guys that like maybe, but like this season, I would say we have JT, we have Mika, we have Fox. A big thing for me is when there's a million leaders, which it almost felt that way, right? Like we got to a point in the Rangers locker room where it was like there was almost a mutiny right against management because there were all these guys kind of just like, oh, we've been here for years. We're the core, like we had the credit, with all this stuff. To me, if too many leaders, not enough followers. And I
mhm,
don't think that makes a good team. I
mhm,
think JT's our captain. He's our spiritual, like, hey, that's the guy who is going to go bust his ass for you. If someone goes out and smashes Gabe, you better know JT is going after that guy the next time he's out there. And that's
mhm,
just who he is, right? He's also a guy who's going to get on other people. Do I think we have some other leaders like a Dursey who will come out and be a leader without having a letter? Absolutely. But JT, and we know Foxy's there, and Foxy's
mhm,
just the leader of the blue line, right? And then Mika, that's your vet that you're looking at that like just does well,
mhm,
except for media. For some reason, he's awful with media, but everything else, he's phenomenal. So
mhm,
I don't see them giving out an A, and I'm hoping Cooley's kind or not Cooley, sorry, Sully is kind of looking at it like these are our leaders. We don't need five leaders. It's ridiculous
mhm.
to have that many. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? If I had a if I had a gun to my head, I'm going Cooley or Gavrikov. But
mhm,
again, you've got the short term, you've got a guy who may be unhappy. So I don't know. My last point on this, and then I'm good, is I think it makes the A mean a little more too.
mhm,
I think Fox has been probably not as happy as he's been in past years recently, and
mhm,
I think this will kind of solidify like, hey, slowly kind of being like, I know we snubbed you for the Olympics, but you're one of our leaders. Like this is
mhm,
you. You deserve that A. Not hey, we're handing out A's to everyone. You get
mhm.
that A. You and Mika.
Yeah,
And I
yeah.
think it'll just mean more to those guys.
Yeah, I see your point there. I didn't know that was an option. I thought we were picking one, but like I see where you're coming from now. Like if 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 that was like a scenario in a sense, I don't think the Rangers don't give out both A's. I think what they would do is give out one A and then hold one A back. 'Cause I mean, technically, it's only three. What is it? Two players on the ice have the A's, and one has the C, and then the other one's
Yes,
your
and they have to
rotation.
alternate per games and stuff.
Yeah,
And it's like,
so it's like I can see them holding back 1A. If they were to just give out another A, I like you said, like, I can see it being Gavrikov, like, I feel like Gavrikov is the leader
mhm,
on this team, but, like, if I was to pick, like I said, I'd do Jersey and Cooley, but I could totally see a scenario where, like, we just don't give out one of the A's or whatever because I mean, like, we only have 4 forwards signed, from what I forgot what the year, 2028, 2029, where, like, there's no
yes.
long-term players or anything like that, so I mean, it's just listen. If Connor Sheary is on this team, he'd be getting an A next year. Let's be real. so,
Well, I
so
guess that's where we'll end this. You're gonna end this on a terrible note. Thank you for listening to NYR After Dark. Make
uh,
sure you're following us on socials, right? We're on X, we're on TikTok, we're on Instagram, we're on everything. Um, Keep the Rangers discourse going. I mean, it's only a couple more weeks. I mean, it was a four. It's Yarrow
5.
amount of days. No, Yarrow amount of days until the season starts. Right,
No, yeah,
49.
but I think it's like 6 Sundays until hockey or something like that. Like
Yeah,
that's
something
that's
like
how
that.
I'm thinking
So
about it. But thanks for listening,
keep it
guys.
keep it
Appreciate it.
going. Yeah, keep engaging. We're here for you. And we'll see you next time or next week, better yet, for some Rangers late night talk.